Hey, it's WilsonLives, your local roguelite apologist. While many decry the sea of procedural games we've been given lately, I've been gobbling them up. Sure, the biggies like Enter the Gungeon and Hades, but also the less ambitious ones that have popped up. Rising Hell and Skull the Hero Slayer come to mind. On top of it, we don't get many big horror entries into the genre, which surprises me with The Binding of Isaac being so tied into its roots. So Papercut Mansion promising a creepy and enticing adventure through a cardboard world reminiscent of The Legend of Bumbo right in time for Halloween sounds like a dream come true. But don't be fooled, ghouls, boils, and friendlies. The knock at your doorstep may be a trick instead of a treat. You play as a police detective who is led to a mysterious mansion and falls deep into its depths. You trek downward through hatches unlocked to you by NPC quests while a narrator urges you to continue and be careful. Per floor, there are 3 play segments. You have the Reptilian Complex, which acts as your combat sections, the Limbic System that's cold and causes perpetual damage, but you can find evidence for your case or NPCs, and the Neocortex, where you solve puzzles, search furniture, and have jump scares thrown at you. Since it's a rogue-styled game, when you die you start back from level 1, but you keep items and a bunch of your NPC progress which allows you control over your build. You can even find different helmets and things to wear. I found a fiery pumpkin to wear on my head. If you're thinking, hey, this sounds pretty rad, I am so very sorry, because Papercut Mansion does almost nothing interesting with any of it. Going in, I thought combat was going to be a bigger part of this, but you're spending most of your time on puzzles that feel like Resident Evil rejects. None of them were terribly hard to figure out, and some were vaguely interesting, but there was nothing to really stump me. The limbic sections have you freezing up, but you can warm up by standing next to most NPCs. Speaking of which, none of the denizens of the mansion have anything interesting to say, and some of them are pretty questionable. The game seems to encourage you to help anybody regardless of their ethical alignment. I think the game is trying to be funny, but it misses the mark by a lot. The narrator only ever starts to get interesting in the beginning, but it's not long before he starts to repeat himself, and he'll do it a bunch. This game wants you to spend a lot of time playing it, and not in a predatory, like, gotcha games kind of way. It's more like a negligent lack of forethought and reliance on random generation kind of way. The game loves to repeat itself in dialogue, encounters, and level design. My first run took a bit over 2 hours. You'd think at the very least that the art design could make this worth your time, and I was definitely sold when I booted up the game. I was taken in by the cardboard world and wanted to find out what was happening, but these drab maze-like worlds leave a lot to be desired. They aren't that large, but I found myself lost all of the time. They give you a compass, but it was little help to me when trying to remember where 2 NPCs, 3 portals, various shopkeepers, and other things are. Interacting with furniture to see if you found either a healing item, coins, mostly coins, or a ghost to jump out was a monotonous cycle of walk, press, turn, walk, press, turn, walk, press, turn. The ghosts aren't scary or dangerous. You just run through various rooms until it disappears. Health items rarely show up, and if you are given money, it's thrown at your feet on the floor and you have to run around to get it like the game just wants you to have a bad time. Oh, and thank goodness this isn't as focused on combat as I thought it would be because it's limp and uninteresting. You can defeat almost anything by one special move, walking backward and shooting. This might have been more engaging if you could adjust the difficulty to a harder setting, but that was gated away behind some game events. Out of the 27 endings, I saw none of them. It wasn't because this was hard, but it was easy to get caught on scenery during fights and get overwhelmed. The runs were long and exhausting, and I experienced 2 crashes during my best ones. I don't know if I got unlucky, but I guess I hoped that whatever was causing that could get fixed. I don't know, if I'm being honest, both times it happened I was relieved, which isn't where you want to be. I think there is so much potential in this genre pairing. Horror and roguelite together is a good thing. And while procedural generation is getting a bad name, let's not forget the treasures it has brought us. But after 15 hours with Papercut Mansion, I kind of wanted to put a flaming pumpkin over my head, just for it to be over.